Hello, how are you? I've been very keen about this particular topic today. My name is Tony Emmanuel. Today I want to talk about the subject called the portfolio. The portfolio. We've been talking about resume, talking about cover letter. We're talking about portfolio today, which is totally different from these two. Imagine attending an interview session and the consultant asks you, can we know more about yourself? And you say, excuse me, can I just give it to you from something that I have handy, where spare that, so that in your spare time you can go over it why I even talk about few of them. That's what a portfolio is. A portfolio is a package you put together that describes you end to end, that somebody can go over while you're talking about yourself, or even after you have long gone, they can review and see, oh, this is what this guy's worth is all about, and this is what you can do. So in this session today, I'm going to take time to explain different segments or different ingredients of a very dynamic or dynamite portfolio. So what should be included in a captivating portfolio? I'm just going to run through some of the things I have listed so that I can be properly expressive. Essential sections for the portfolio will vary depending on the type of job and industry you're looking at. So it is not all that I want to start enumerating that must go into every portfolio. So you just need to know, okay, this is what this is, and this is suitable for this kind of portfolio. Number one thing that must be and that must go along with every portfolio is what I call the career summary. The career summary. This is the description of who you are. You can include elements that are not in your resume, such as your work ethics, your personal interests, your philosophy about life and work. All of this may not have gone into your resume because, don't forget I mentioned, your resume must just be a page. But it is in a portfolio you further state, some people will create a resume, they say my hobbies. Hobbies is not necessary, it's not an essential component of a resume. That can go into a portfolio. So your portfolio must have a career summary, your passion, your vocation, and what you do at your spare times, and all of that. It can go into your career summary. Number two thing that should be or can be included in your portfolio is what I call goals. Don't forget, in one of those sessions, we spoke about the spirit, that gets the job, and we said go is the name of that spirit. So in your portfolio, your goals must be clearly talked about. So you talk about where you see yourself, professionally in 1, 2, 5 years time. And also, then a resume cannot be included as part of your portfolio. This includes a good, clean copy of your resume, as well as an extra copy in case someone in the interview panel needs one. Don't forget, your portfolio is the impression you are leaving behind for review. So your resume will also be part of the package. Number 4, your accomplishment is a very critical component of a portfolio. So include a detailed list of your major career accomplishments to date. This is an important element of your portfolio. So this section should be branded to match your resume. Include a list of examples that you can refer to easily during your interview, depending on the type of work that you do. So this section may be a paper or multimedia presentation. You can include comprehensive example in this section. Excuse me, in creating a portfolio, you need to add the extra touch. What I mean by the extra touch, invest in proper packaging. As a businessman and as somebody that has submitted proposals in several places, or what you would call a job portfolio, there has never been a time I had submitted a proposal in the past and my proposal has been dropped in the pool of other proposals, because I spend the extra to ensure that when you receive my proposal in the way it's properly laid out, you have to keep it somewhere. And I'm going to give you some of these tips, perhaps at the end of this session, or maybe in the question and answer session. How can you package your portfolio that commands attention and will not end in the dustbin? Number 5, work samples. Don't forget, this is quite different from achievement. Work samples. These are often printed copies of the work that you have done, although they could be in multimedia format also. Include report, paper, study, brochures, project, presentation, and so on. Make sure that they are crisp, clean copies it is a good idea to use plastic sleeves to protect your samples. I remember there was a time I submitted a proposal to one of these national banks, especially the Bank of Industry, and I remember about shortlisting about 30 of us, 30 vendors for a particular project. And I got the news from insider that, wow, the way you package your work samples and the project you've done in the past made you the number one and gave you the first spot for consideration. So when you are package it properly. Don't use para binding, blue back, white fronts. No, package it properly. You can do a perfect binding of your work samples, or you do a proper, packaging for it. Those that will contact me for special consultations after this session, especially those that visited jobhuntingkit.com to subscribe to this course, I can give practical examples of this and get you along. Now, another thing I want to include in your portfolio is your research, publications, and reports, especially where you need to highlight some of the things you have done. For example, you might be applying for a job in the telecom sector, and based on your creative skill or your expertise and what you've been exposed to, you've come up with some research and some reports that can even improve the organization in terms of customer delivery, technicalities, and what have you. You can include it, but just an abridged copy of it, so that they can always call you back for further consultation and stuff like that. Another very important essential of your portfolio must include your testimonials and letter of recommendation. That is, wherever you have worked before and whatever people have said about you matter a lot in the impression you're going to give your new employer or your prospective employer. So make sure you are able to collect any compliment testimonials and place them in this section of your portfolio. This section can also include copies of your performance evaluations and reviews. In most organizations today, there's what they call KPIs, and this is a report that can be generated, and it is used to benchmark performance and also, perhaps grade or promote. Perhaps you have done well in your previous employment and you have this report handy. Maybe perhaps you've been rated several times the best staff, the best whatever that you have become. Make sure you include it in your portfolio. And another aspect of a good portfolio is awards and honors. This includes your certificates, your scholarships, and so on. Things you have won, medals you have won, laureates you have won, all of that must be included. And the next point is very important. It talks about conferences and workshops you have attended. Many people, they don't take this aspect serious as it adds up, to their relevance in the job market. Conferences, workshops is something that you should, be eager to always attend, even while you're still looking for a job. For example, I was talking to somebody also just yesterday, and I was saying that, see, even if you don't have experience or job experience, as much as you have attended several workshops and several conferences, demonstrate to a potential employer that you have exposure somehow, regardless of whether you are experienced in it or not. So it includes a list of seminars, training sessions, workshops that you have participated in or attended. This might include your completion certificate, a copy of the program highlight or agendas, so that perhaps your potential employer can find relevance to maybe what you have been exposed to to what is needed in the organization. Transcript degrees, licenses, and certifications are major ingredients of a portfolio. So it is rare for employer to ask for transcript, but copies of degree or other documents are often required. And I want to talk about professional development activities also that must be part of this. So this is a list of professional associations in which you belong or for which you volunteer. So it is good to include this in your portfolio. Perhaps you have volunteering or community service you are involved in, also include it in your portfolio. Also, references can be included in your portfolio. At least your reference should be a list of 3 people who are willing to speak about your strength, your ability, and your experience. At least one of your references should be your former manager. Lastly, on this note and in this session, before you can put a reference on your portfolio or push it before a potential employer, please always carry the referee along, as it were. Be sure that the person is willing to talk about you in a positive light that can guarantee, positive assessment. I'll be talking about some of these things privately, especially to people that are going to join me on the live stream, on flexscreen.com, being part of the people that have enrolled for the course, being part of the people that purchased the job hunting kit. There's always live streams, live stream sessions with them. So you can be a part of them. I'm going to explain this in details and make sure you go enroll and you go sign up. Thank you.